Namaste students, I am JV Dr. Aziz Mohammed Khan from Department of Food and Biotechnology, Faculty of Agriculture and Veterinary Science, Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University, Jaipur. Today I am going to discuss about the topic cytokines and their receptor families. In the previous video, I discussed about the cytokines, introduction of cytokines, their nomenclature, their functions, the type of activities, and the classification of the cytokines. And in this video lecture, I'm going to discuss about the cytokine receptor family. So, what are the cytokine receptors? First, it need to be understand if a cell is secreting some cytokines, means the cell has some signals to be transferred to another cells. Okay, and it needs that signal. Some another cells need that signal. Okay. So one cell which has some signal, and this signal needs to be transferred to another cells so that the another cell can also know that what is happening here, and sometimes also secrete some cytokines for itself also for the autocrine signaling. For example, if some cells need their activation and differentiation, then it uh, secrete some cytokines, and these cytokines will bind to itself also, and this type of signaling is known as the autocrine signaling. The example is interleukin 4 will bind to the T helper cells also. Only the cytokine secreted by the T helper cell will bind to the receptor of the cytokine, and this lead to the activation of the cytokine. This will activation lead to the activation of the T helper cells, and this activation will lead to the differentiation of the cytokines into memory cells, uh, some T helper cells, and activated T cells. So this signaling is very necessary for the immune cells to perform their functions, and their functions are regulated and activated by the cytokines. So if one cell is secreting some cytokines, for example, this is a one cell and it is secreting some cytokines, so it has some signals. So that's why it is secreting the cytokines, and this is the nearby cells where the cytokines need to be transferred and the signal need to be transferred. So these cells must have some receptor. Okay, it must have some receptor. Okay, and these receptors are attached on the surface of the cell. These receptors are on the cell membrane, and from their cell membrane they are attached, they come inside the cell, and they are attached to the uh, nucleus. They are attached to the nucleus also, so that the nucleus will decide what to do. The nucleus will uh, will direct the cell what to do. It need to be activated, it need to be proliferate, it need to be differentiated. The nucleus will decide, and the nucleus will decide only because the cytokines has a message given to the nucleus. So this cytokines is sending the message to the nucleus, which is secreted by another cells and the cell-to-cell interaction. So here, one important thing is that cytokine receptors. So what are the receptors? If cytokines are secreted, they need to be bound to another cells, and for the binding to another cells, the cells must have some receptors. Receptors are also some protein molecules. Some protein molecules, and when cytokines react as a ligand, they act as a ligand, and the receptor will act as a receptor. They will receive the signal, and these signals are then transferred to the nucleus. So this is the receptor. This is the basic of the receptor. What are the receptors? So when we talk about the cytokine receptor fall in five families. There are five families, and the receptor for various cytokines are quite diverse structurally, but almost all belong to one five families of receptor families. The first one is immunoglobulin receptor family. They are like the immunoglobulins. We have understand the structure of the immunoglobulin structure. So these cytokine family come under the immunoglobulin superfamily. The next one is class 1 cytokine receptor family. They are also known as the hematopoietin receptor family. So there are various types of class 1 cytokine receptor families, including the interleukin 2, 3, 4 receptor families for the interleukin 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7, 9, 11, 12, 13, 15, GMF, LF, CMTF. The next is class 2 cytokine receptor family. They are also known as the interferon receptor family, including the interferon alpha, beta. The next is the TNF receptor family, which is also a class of tumor necrosis factor receptor family. And the last one is the chemokine receptor family. The chemokine receptor family here is structure which is different from the cytokines. So we will discuss each cytokine family one by one. So this is the first class, which is the immunoglobulin class superfamily. Here we can find that these the structure of immunoglobulin superfamily is like structure of the immunoglobulins. They are bound to each other by disulfide linkages. This is the membrane. This is the portion where it is on the surface of the cell membrane. And this is the transmembrane region, and this is the cellular region where it is bound in the it is present in the cell. It is inside the cell membrane surface. So this is the cytoplasmic region. This is the outer membrane cell surface region, and this is the transmembrane region. And the family where the immunoglobulin superfamily is the interleukin 1 is the example of immunoglobulin superfamily, which regulate different functions. So this is the immunoglobulin, and the next is the cytokine receptor family, class 1. This is the class 1 receptor family, which is present in many cells, and they have the receptors for the interleukin 2, interleukin 3, interleukin 4, interleukin 5, 6, 7, 9, 11, 12. So these are the examples also for the class 1 cytokine receptor family. And what is and the basic of this uh, cytokine receptor family? So there are regions. This is the membrane distal region, this is the membrane proximal region, this is the transmembrane region, and this is the cytoplasmic region. The membrane distal region in cytokine class 1 receptor family is conserved, means it is not changed. It is similar in all class 1 cytokine receptor family. In all class 1 receptor family, This is same. It is not different for any kind of ligand. For example, it is same for the interleukin 2, it is same for the interleukin 3, it is same for the interleukin 4, interleukin 5. The difference is only in the membrane proximal region domains. The two domains are different and two domains are same. So this is the class 1 receptor family. The next is the class 2 receptor family. In the class 2 receptor family, it is like class 1 also, and it is present in the interferon alpha, beta, interferon gamma, and interleukin 10. In this region, what happens? What is the difference in the cytokine class 2 receptor family? There are region membrane, distal membrane, proximal, transmembrane, and cytoplasmic region. The one chain in the class 2 receptor family, the one chain is conserved here. Here, not the domain is conserved. Here, the complete chain is conserved. Means there is the same cytokine family for the alpha, beta, gamma, and interleukin 10. This region is same, but the difference is only here in this another chain. So it will be different for the interferon alpha, beta, gamma, and can. So this is the class 2. Now TNF receptor family. TNF receptor family. So tumor necrosis factor family is here, which is very longer structure. It is a single chain structure, has four, one single chain and four domains, which has TNF and alpha, TNF, beta, CT10, and now growth factor, and the another factors which are involved in and bind to the TNF receptor family. So these ligands, these TNF alpha, TNF beta ligands will bind to TNF receptor family and show their signals, give their signals to these receptors. The next is the cytokine, chemokine receptor family. Chemokine receptor family is different from another family. So what is the difference? Here the protein are have 7 transmembrane protein. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there are 7 transmembrane protein. The one end is inside the one end of chemokine receptor family is outside the cell on the surface of the cell membrane, and the another end is inside the cytoplasm, which is bound to a G protein coupled receptors. So the ligand will bind here, and this will transfer the signal to G protein coupled receptor also. So it is used for the interleukin 10, then there's MIP, PG4, and MIP2, and have important role in the direct chemotaxis activity. So this is the summary of the receptor superfamily here. This is the IG superfamily, which is this is the portion outside the cell. This is the transmembrane, and this is the cytoplasmic layer. This is the cytoplasmic tail of all cytokines. It is the class 1 receptor family. This is the class 2 receptor family here. One domain, one chain is conserved here. This is the TNF family where the upper domain has the CC rich region, and this is the chemokine receptor family which has 7 transmembrane protein. So students will be able to understand what are the cytokines and what kind of receptors are there, and for they can also understand the examples of the cytokines also. For they can understand that which So receptor family is used for a particular kind of cytokine, and they can understand also the diagram and also the examples of the cytokine receptor family. So which kind of questions can be asked here? The questions which can be asked here that explain the cytokine receptor family, explain the cytokine receptor family with diagram and the examples. So I hope the students can explain the cytokine receptor families very well. So my lecture is over here. Thank you very much.